All right, Hoffity guys, and welcome to another episode of the One Micronesia Podcast. I'm your host, Victorious, and in this show, I get to sit down. It's one of those organizations, those foundations that I've always wanted to chat with. I have history with the foundation as well. I have a relative, but we're gonna get to talk about that in a little bit. But yes, with me today, I do have three wonderful folks who have taken their time out of their busy schedule to sit down with me. I do have Senator Luis Muña. I also have Eric Tedinko and Kalina Camacho here with me from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Guam CNMI. Guys, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start every time I kick off a podcast. I like to do a little history. So let's talk about Make-A-Wish Foundation, Guam CNMI. When did that start?
Okay, I'll take this one. So the chapter itself has been, we celebrate 32 years this year. So back in 1988, the chapter was started with the late Lieutenant Governor Frank Bloss and our first executive director, Sylvia Flores. And so they started that chapter because it originally was part of the Hawaii chapter. It used to be called Make-A-Wish Hawaii Guam Division. And so it didn't last too long in that iteration. Shortly after, they established independence of that, and we had our own chapter in 1988, and we soon granted our first wish as a Guam standalone chapter. In 2017, we included the CNMI as part of our name, and that was really because we were trying to make a lot of inroads into outreach there for the kids that have critical illnesses. And we do have board members that are based in Saipan and the Northern Marianas. And so we felt it was necessary for them to feel part of the organization. And that identity helps them when they are going out and helping us outreach and helping us fundraise. So that happened in 2017. So we're happy to be doing that. So the office really, the chapter is very small. We're probably one of the smallest chapters around. And you're looking at myself and Ms. Kalina Camacho, who are we run the organization along with the support of our 16 board members now. So we have 3 in Saipan and 13 here in Guam. And so, typically we grant, in the past, we've averaged about granting a wish one every month. So about an average of 12 a year. And so that is really the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Guam and CNMI in a nutshell.
Wow. And amazing. You guys been around for 30 plus years and doing, those wishes really go a long way. And like I did mention in the beginning of the intro that, I've had a connection with the foundation, just so I could throw it out there. My cousin passed away to cancer years and years ago. And he was granted a wish too, through Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I remember I hosted a, I believe it was something at GPO for Make-A-Wish Foundation. And, when you guys reached out, I was like, yes, I'll do it. I think it was my way to give back to an organization.
I believe that was the
mileage drive.
Mileage program.
Yes,
the mileage drive
yes.
that we had. Yeah,
that was it. So, doing that, it really made me, it was my part, in giving back to a foundation that really helped out many, many kids who needed it. And it granted them a wish. That wish really, made a big difference in their lives. So
what we're doing now basically is trying to reach out to, family members who has the impact is not just specifically to the Wish Kid. It's also expanded to all of their family members as well. And so even just to hear your story too, just says a lot about the foundation too as well.
It does. And of course, since I got you on here, Senator, you reached out a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to bring the crew onto the podcast and kind of like an outreach program to our FAS citizens here. So go ahead and talk more about that.
Actually, I did reach out to Eric. We just went through one of our annual conferences, and part of the one of our newest campaigns was to diversify and expand our reach to everyone, and not just not just specifically to Guam kids. And so I just reached out to Eric and I said, Eric, you think it's a good idea if maybe we start reaching out to the key members of the FAS community, you being one of them? And he said, sure, let's do it. And so that was kind of, I just I'm really just one of the board members. I'm one of the, I call us passionate supporters is really what we are. We support Eric and Kalina in the mission to grant wishes. And so when I saw that National was expanding the campaign of granting wishes, that's when I said, you think maybe it's a good idea if we just reach out to the people who are, key members of the FAS community. And then that's when I called you.
Thank you. So I guess my next question would be, so the wishes to have granted, and I know you guys have granted wishes to citizens of the FAS. Was that citizens who have flown to Guam and gotten into the program, or have you guys reached out to the islands? Has there been any situations like that?
I can take that one. With the children that have been through our program from the FAS community, they are already in Guam for treatment, and it is through their doctors here, their treating physicians here, where we hear about them. We don't have established contacts with the medical community in the outer islands, and that is on our plan. We would love to do that. But right now, if they are on island getting treatment, and if they qualify for our program, then we will certainly go through the process with them all the way up into wish completion. So, which is why we have had quite a few wish kids from the FAS community, and we know that there are a ton more that we can reach that we would love to grant wishes to. So we are hoping that this will help.
Yeah, so Victorious, I wanted to kind of step in here and add on to what Kalina said. And so, a lot of the kids that from Micronesia that we get as far as referrals, they're referred directly from the hospital. Mm-hmm. And many times, I know that, in the past, there's always a language barrier. A lot of times we rely on the children because they're the ones who can, it's a second language for them. And it's still a struggle for them also to translate what we're trying to do. So we already know that that's an obstacle for us into reaching into the community. We also know that, there's a trust issue too, like who are these people? Maybe they're not familiar with our mission and our foundation. And so, I've reached out to the FSM consulate here in the past to help us with referrals for translators to help us reach out into the community, because we feel that crossing that boundary where we can feel trusted will rely really upon somebody who's part of that community, because then there's already an automatic trust with them, and then they can understand what we're trying to do. And really, we make no we have no issues with their status here. We just want to grant wishes if they are qualified with their medical condition. And so I know that even with Kalina, I've asked her a couple of times, hey, what happened to that one referral we got? And she'll tell me, well, we just lost touch. A lot of times maybe they're whatever phone line they have, which is a connection that we have to them, for whatever reason or another, it's not working. So we're really losing out on an opportunity to grant these kids wishes.
Wow. And I might just jump in here, and I don't know if I know you reached out to the consulate office, but one big awesome organizations that's growing and continue to do awesome job here is the Manila Foundation. And I know you guys have heard about Manila. It's such an awesome organization. It was Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then now under Samantha Titano, it's just been doing so much, and we see a lot of their work now, especially on social media, pushing the message of all these all the guidelines for COVID-19 and what not to do, what to do in the different languages. So I think that'll be an awesome collaboration if you guys are thinking about getting into, because they do so much and they know so many people out in the community as well.
It's a great suggestion.
Yeah, we did. I'm sorry. We did partner with one of the wish kids that we did have. We did reach out to the Micronesian Resource Center. And we had been in touch with one of the employees there, and he had given us a start with a translator and pointed us in the right direction. He at the time was pretty busy with what was going on there. So, and he in turn gave us some other suggestions on where to go, but that was also, the Micronesian Resource Center was also a great avenue, a great resource for us.
And I think also once we begin, due to COVID, we haven't really been granting any wishes, but once we start to grant wishes again, it would be great as me as a team lead for the Wish Granters Association, be great for us to involve more people that can help with that language barrier too as well. So, if there are any volunteers out there that are willing to, be a part of the Wish Granters team, once we start granting wishes, then that'll help too with the interview process, all the way up to the fulfilling the wish.
That's a very important point that Senator Louise made. Part of that outreach is going to have to include somebody who represents our organization, whether it's a wish granter or somebody on the board, that can be that connection to that community. So, very important point. And I know that within Make-A-Wish, the enterprise, that's always a big concern. Reaching into the underserved communities requires a lot of hard work and getting their hands dirty into the community so that we can establish a connection there.
That's awesome. And I know Senator Luis touched base on it, the whole COVID-19, the situation. And so you guys are not, obviously you can't, the wishes right now, they're on hold. Is there a time frame where you guys are going to start granting wishes?
Well, the wishes, the wishes that we have on hold right now are all travel wishes, and they have all opted to hold on to their travel wish. They want to wait and see how things clear up. And we've had some families that said if it takes years, then they will wait years, because that ultimately is what their child truly wants, is the travel wish. But for other wishes locally, we, within, of course, adhering to the local, the government and the public health guidelines, we would be able to grant. We have done one over the summer, in which we had to be creative a little bit. It was back then when restrictions were a little bit lifted, but not so much. But as long as it is a local wish, it is something that we can grant locally, then there's no reason why we should wait.
Awesome. And
we don't have to put them on a plane. But the great thing is too, like some of the wish kids that we have granted wishes to, it's their first time on a plane. And that's one of the reasons why they like to wait, because they, that would be a first time experience for them to actually get on a plane, no matter where they go to. If they choose a certain destination such as Disney, which is a great partner for Make-A-Wish, that's the first time, not just getting to Disneyland, but just getting on a plane is already like a wish granted in itself. So that's why they wait for it.
Oh man, yes, and you touched, you talked about Disney, and that was from, I did not go, but my cousin was asked what he wanted, and a kid growing up in Yap, we watched Disney so much growing up that he said he wanted to go to Disneyland. So his experiences, and it was back in the time when we didn't have videos to video call them and see how they were going, how his experience was. But it was everything that I learned from his trip growing up was through pictures, and he was just smiling from day one all the way until the end of the trip. So, people out there listening to the podcast, people who might not know what Make-A-Wish Foundation does or what kind of wishes are granted, these wishes change lives. And it definitely showed in my cousin's face, where through the process of him being sick, he was just so sad. And we visited him before he went, and he was just in bed all the time, was not talking to anybody, was not eating well. And then when the wish came through and he went to Disney, and after he came, he passed away here in Guam. This is where he last was treated before he passed on. The difference between when we saw him first before he left to Disney and when he came back was so different. You knew that he'd experienced something that really put a smile on his face and really made a difference. So like I keep saying this every time, and I kind of get emotional because it really, it's a foundation that helps, that truly helps. It's not a foundation that just takes money and keeps it to themselves. It's a foundation that gives back and truly makes a difference. So such a beautiful thing. And again, I thank you guys every time. Every time that one event I hosted, I thanked you guys, and I will always keep thanking you guys for all that you do. Making a difference for my cousin and many kids, and seeing the smiles and seeing the difference in my cousin. I knew that with that wish and the millions of wishes that are granted across the world for Make-A-Wish Foundation, I know that smile on my cousin's face was the same smile on every kid's face when you guys helped out. So such a beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you. You're making me get emotional.
Hey, you're giving me goosebumps over here.
Need tissue.
No,
Wow.
I mean, so when Senator Munia reached out to me, I was like, yes, I definitely want to, start the talk. I mean, this is not the end. I mean, this is the start of something, and down the line, definitely reach out to more FAS kids who wants the wish and who are eligible for the wish. And so this is a process that we're going to start now, and definitely, see it as it grows.
Well, Louise, I think you have a
Awesome.
new recruit there for your wish granting. But
Actually,
go ahead.
maybe Eric can go ahead and touch a little bit more about the power of a wish, and just talk about that, because you really touched on what a wish actually does to a child who has a critical illness, and you experienced it firsthand. And I think it's hard for them to understand how one event or something that's granted to them can make a lifetime experience, maybe even change the course of their healing, right? So maybe Eric can talk a little bit about that too as well.
Just as much as I do, Louise, you've been involved with the organization a lot. You've seen it because you were a wish granter. But Victorious, it's the National Office of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They conducted studies, and these studies have been peer reviewed that show that the power of a wish, along with a physician's medical treatment plan, really does give a lot of hope to the kids who are, experiencing these adverse medical conditions. It gives them hope that they can battle and defeat their illness. And, on an average, 70% of the kids that we have going through the program, they go on to lead adult lives. And so, that's a great percentage of and it shows and illustrates how powerful a wish can be. We see, wish kids from before, like when they've had wishes granted years ago, and they remember it. They remember that experience because, like you said, you were a bystander and an observer of your cousin's wish, but even the experience for you was transformative enough that you remember it. And so that's the kind of power that we all of us here, Louise and Kaliana and I, we see that all the time because we are wish granters. And so we see that, and we see these kids later on in life, and they are so grateful that will always remember that experience. And so, and their families too, as Louise said, their families are directly affected by it. And so, we are proud of the work we do, and we just want to do more. We want to grant more wishes, and hopefully with the crossing our fingers on this vaccine, we can return to granting more travel wishes, because as Louise said, and as Kalina said, a lot of the wishes that are on hold for us are these wishes for travel. And these kids, they really want to go somewhere, and they really want to experience what they've been dreaming about. And so we can't wait to do that. But in the meantime, we just need more kids, more referrals, because we've seen the referrals drop off. So we want to get back in there. We want to reach the community and say, hey, if you have a child who you think may qualify, just, have the physician or contact us, and we can do the work of contacting the physician and having them fill out the proper forms online. And, you never have to come to our office. Everything can be done online. And so we maintain social distancing that way, but you never know if they could qualify until you try first to apply for the medical eligibility.
We don't want to wait until they're actually at the hospital already, because sometimes they could already have a qualifying condition before they even get into the hospital. So if we can reach them even before that, that would even be better. We can grant their wishes even sooner.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. So I guess we're at times kind of cutting down on us. So we'll go ahead and jump into because an organization like you guys, of course, you guys operate and you guys need the support of the community and the funds that are coming in from community. And you guys do a lot of events, and especially now with COVID-19, things are kind of are changing, and you got to be creative with how you conduct your events. So let's talk about these two upcoming events that you guys got planned.
Like, who's going to raise their hand first? Okay. Kalina will do it.
I talked too
Okay.
much already.
Well, I can talk about the Stars at Home, which is the virtual talent show that is up and running now. What it is because we know that everybody is at home. Most everybody has access to a phone and are able to record. And I don't know if you're like me, you've kind of picked up a hobby or two during this quarantine. So we've invited the community to submit their videos of their talent, and their talent can range from anything from singing, dancing. We've got a couple bakers. We've had somebody doing art with a pressure washer in their driveway. Whatever it is that you feel your talent is, send us a video and we will upload it onto this website, and you can share the link with your family and friends, and you basically are the fundraiser for Make-A-Wish. So what you're doing is inviting your family and friends to fundraise on your behalf, or you're fundraising on behalf of Make-A-Wish, and your friends and family, yes, your friends and family will basically give you a virtual high five in the form of a donation. And at the end of this campaign, we will, of course, award the top 3 fundraisers with prizes. But if there is a way that I can send you the link to the talent show online, and you can put it out there, and you can even invite the community to come take a look at the various talent that we have here on island and in the CNMI too. We've got a couple videos up. So you can take a look at that there. And that's one of the fundraisers that we have going on. You can do it all from the comfort of your phone, wherever you're at.
And just to add to that too, the prizes to the top 3 fundraisers, the people who raise the most money for Make-A-Wish, if they're also from the CNMI, then these are also transferable there, so they can win those prizes as well too. So it's open to both Guam and CNMI. But just Victoria knows he knows so many talented people. We should have gotten him on so that he could have had more people jump on. But but I don't see why not to share the link still and vote.
Yeah, well, it's not too late too if you want to submit a video.
There you go, Victoria.
Certainly submit a video if you want.
I'll do my best. I've been working on some TikTok dances. I'm sorry, just to give you a little timeline. So we have this going on now, and the voting process goes from now all the way up until December 1st, which we will go ahead and we'll start to calculate and then award the winner by December 4th. So this is the timeline process now, is that we need people to go in and vote for their favorite videos so that they can come out as the top winners. Oh, wow. So right now, so pretty much the videos are uploaded, just people need to get there and do the voting.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So that's ongoing. And then the deadline you said was somewhere between December 1st, December 3rd?
December 1st is the deadline is when the voting will stop. And then December 4th is when we will award the top 3 fundraisers.
Awesome. Okay. All right. And then we have the virtual run. That's sorry. Eric.
Okay.
Eric.
Yeah, we have that. We have the Jingle Rock Run, and this is a virtual run. And we did earlier this year. We had planned to do a trail run before COVID hit, and a traditional run where people meet and they run, and there's a start line and a finish line, and it's a nice public gathering. And so we had to shift gears back then. This was in, I think we finally did our virtual trail run in June. And it was, a pretty decent success for us on our first run out. And so we've been seeing all these challenges going on, these distance challenges, and everybody, because of the closure of gyms, a lot of people, I think they feel like they need to have a goal in mind, right? And so what we've done too is just kind of jumped on that bandwagon for our Jingle Rock. And this one is spearheaded by our board chair, Ms. Jan Camacho. And so this Jingle Rock basically is, you get 4 different distances you can choose: a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a full marathon distance. And so basically you have two weeks to complete the distance. And whatever distance you choose, you have to complete it in a single outing, a single run, right? And so we feel like that we can get a lot of people out there being active, setting this as a goal. At the same time, it's got our fundraising mechanism off that is going to be that the entry fee is really all based off entry fees. And so it's a $30 entry fee. You get a nice, commemorative shirt for it, a really nice one. And so, that starts December 1st. Yes, that starts December 1st, and it goes on for, I'm sorry, that's a whole month. You get a whole month.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So if you choose the marathon, and you want to work up to it, you can do shorter runs up until then, and then you use a GPS device like a Garmin, and then you track your run, and then you just send us the results, and then you can pick up your shirt once you complete the distance. And so, we're seeing some interest early on, and so we're hoping that that picks up as we near the date. Guam is historically we love to wait to the last minute for stuff.
Always.
And so we're hoping that we can generate a little bit more interest as we get closer to the date. But even if after the date starts, if you pick a 5K in the middle of it, that's very doable, or a 10K even. And so like I said, you got a month starting from December 1st after you register. So that's the Jingle Rock Run.
And walkers are allowed to.
And walkers are allowed. Yes.
You can walk too.
All right. Well, guys, Zoom gave me the notification. So we're pretty much wrapping things up. Again, we talked a whole lot of important things about the foundation. So if whoever's listening right now and they want to reach out to you guys, how do they go about doing so?
Well, there's various ways. We are on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Just look us up, Make-A-Wish Foundation of Guam and CNMI, for who's not on social media these days. And then you could always email us at info@guam.wish.org. And then there's always the old-fashioned phone call at 649-WISH. Super easy.
And you get to talk to Kalina and Eric all the time. Call that number.
They're awesome, guys. So if you're watching this,
I think
they're awesome.
before we wrap it up, and maybe we could also give Eric the final word, but really the whole point of us being in here is that we want to expand our reach, and we want to reach out to more kids, and most especially even into the FAS community. And right now we have, some board members in CNMI. Our dreams and wishes could be to have board members throughout the outer islands, whether it be Ponape, Palau, Kazrai, Chuk, all of the outer islands. We know that there's a lot of qualified there are kids that can qualify for wishes, so why not bring them on board? And so that's really the main mission for us being here today.
Okay.
I don't need to add anything else to that. Louise pretty much summed it up. So we really do thank you for the opportunity to speak to your community and to your listeners.
Okay. All right. Well, that pretty much concludes the One Micronesia Podcast, and we will see you guys at the next one.